All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. We're now live on YouTube. We have a moderate docket. I think we can get through it relatively quickly. Number 22. Number 22 is reset. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and try to get started with announcements other than please. Announcements other than please. I have Mr. Ortegon who may be on the phone. Mr. Ortegon, if you're on the phone, I can move on.
I'm done, Judge. I was on the phone with another court. I apologize for that.
No worries. What number do you have?
I apologize for that too, Your Honor. Let me pull that up right away.
18 and 19, I was told. It's
Thank you,
Brian
Judge.
D. Sweeten, CR 20-0977-1H, CR 20-11-068H. Your announcement on these two cases, Mr.
Your Honor, my client has since pled out to a couple felonies, Your Honor. There were some motions to adjudicate as well as some new charges. He's getting 30 months TDC. So he'll be in TDC for 30 months. I've spoken to the felony prosecutor. I believe he said he messaged Mr. Heller saying dismiss what we can. There might be some restitution. So I'm trying to figure out what that amount is so we can get it paid, so we can just get these dismissed. So he's no longer taking county resources and state the TDC can pick him up essentially. Or if the state's just willing to dismiss, I know the victims are the same and he is going up to TDC.
Mr. Heller, you're on mute.
Judge, if you can recall this one, we're looking into the restitution issue right now. Melissa's on the phone. We're trying to get the hold of the victim.
Perfect. All right. Well, hang tight, Mr. Ortegon. I'll be right with you once we get all the other announcements. See if that's enough time.
Absolutely. Your Honor.
All right. Do you have anything else, Mr. Ortegon? Is that it?
For now, Judge, that's all I have. I'll be on standby.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Shigani, who do you have?
Good morning, Judge. I didn't receive the docket. I'm not sure what number it is, but it's Jose Manuel. Actually, it's Juan Ignacio Martinez. I apologize.
Yes, Juan Ignacio Martinez, CR 21-04806H and CR 21-04805H. Juan Ignacio Martinez. It's a PTD placement.
Yes, Judge. He's actually ready to be. Well, he's not ready to be placed. He hasn't met with me to sign the documents. I have asked this court administratively to reset this case several times, and this court has graciously complied. However, I cannot get a hold of him at this point, Judge. I know he told me he was going out to work somewhere out of state. I advised him that he has a duty to, be in touch, and we have court, et cetera, et cetera. So I didn't reset this case. I wanted to bring it to the court's attention. I don't think he's initially missing court. He does know the deal I got him. So, I don't really want to have a nice eye issued, but I did want to advise the court of what was going on and allow me to remedy the situation and get him in to sign these documents, hopefully sooner rather than later, Judge. So I'll defer to the court.
All right. Well, if you'd like the time to be able to try to make contact with him one more time, I don't mind doing that. Sometimes having a nice eye over their head helps to facilitate their response a little quicker, a little faster. If you think that's the case, then I have no problem doing it that way. And then we can always recall it if you bring him in.
So I have actually made contact with who I presume is his mother, and she tells me he's working and she'll get him to call me, but he just hasn't called me. So I have had contact with somebody, just not the defendant. So I would ask the court just to hold off if possible on issue or granting a nice eye. Give me one last chance to try to get this individual in. We got him a good deal and he understands that. So I would ask just one last chance, Judge. And if not, then maybe the nice eye will kind of speed it up.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do a motion for continuance and a reset for 2 weeks, March 1st.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many do we, give me 1 second, Hitesh. He's not in custody, right?
No, Your Honor. I mean, that would make it easier, Judge.
Right, at 2 o'clock.
Yes, Judge. March 1st at 2 p.m., Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business, Your Honor. May be excused.
Give me 1 second. Hold on, Hitesh. Give me one
Yes,
second.
Your
Oh,
Honor.
I'm sorry. That I muted you. I meant to mute myself, Hitesh. I didn't mean that. Okay, Hitesh, we're gonna do the 3rd at 2:00 since that's election day.
Okay, can I ask the court to give me a different date? I'm actually going to be out of the country from March 2nd to March 12th.
Uh,
I can try to appear via Zoom, Judge.
no. How about the 22nd?
March 22nd, Your Honor?
Yep.
Yes, Judge. Same time?
Same time, 2:00.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez, what do you have?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have number 7 on the court's criminal docket.
That's CR 19-06-599H, Randy Ray Martinez.
He's currently still being detained, Your Honor.
I gave a PR bond.
He has a felony pending, Judge, which Judge Singletary had given him a $2,000 bond. I don't think my client can make that. And after speaking with the that court judge, I think we may be looking at some sort of program like SafeP or SATF. We're set for the 16th in that court, Judge.
I mean, I know it doesn't matter in this case because I can always go back and look at the date that I gave him a PR bond and give him credit. But if he's not going to make bond, do you want me to just go ahead and we just revoke the bond and that way he starts getting jail credit? Because misdemeanor right now, he's not getting jail credit.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I was trying to see if I could get something worked out in the 92nd. But those discussions have been lending more towards some sort of program, Your Honor.
Right. I'll follow your lead on it, Mr. Gonzalez. If you just need more time, I'll give it to you and we can stay with a PR bond.
Judge, if you would, please, I'm really trying for this kid, but so, I mean, I'd hate to get and I understand that the dates don't count, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to get him probation on the felony counts. And I know the reason this case in your court was not taken care of with jail time was because of the restitution owed.
Right.
So I'm assuming at the end of the day, the state is still going to want, or is going to try and get some restitution, which I don't blame them. So
let's just do this. Let me just give you a reset date and I'll keep the PR bond. That way, if something happens, you can always work with that. Okay.
yes, sir.
All right. Reset date. How much time do you think you need?
We're set on the 16th March in the 92nd, Your Honor. I think that's going to be dispositive of my client's situation. So I'd ask for maybe either that day or the day after, or week after.
Let
Or
me see. We have the March 16th is a what day of the week? No, that's how about the 22nd?
perfect, sir.
March 22nd. All right, Mr. Martinez, March 22nd, 2:00, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Judge, you can go ahead and recall Mr. Ortegon's case,
Okay, what number was that again?
number 18 and 19.
19. All right, Brian D. Sweeten II, CR 20-0977-1H, CR 20-11-068H.
Your Honor, we've looked into the matter. There is going to be zero restitution in this case. As a result of the felony plea, we'll be dismissing.
Both of these cases, the request of the district attorney's office will both be dismissed.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. No objection on behalf of the defense.
All right, Mr. Sweeten, good luck to you, sir.
That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused?
Your excuse, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Aguirre, who do you have?
Yes, Your Honor, we got number 4, 5, and 6 on the court's docket. Jose Adrian Garcia. He is the Spanish speaker, Judge.
All right, and is he present?
He was in Starr County. I don't know if they brought him or not.
Jose Adrian, oh, there he is.
There he is.
All right, CR 22-009988H, CR 21-13-991H, and CR 21-13-992H. Jose Adrian Garcia, your announcement.
Yes, Your Honor, we were ready for a plea on number 6 on the court's docket. I held off filing the paperwork because there was an unfiled theft charge. The theft charge was filed fairly recently, got I got discovery. I need to just get with Mr. Heller, see what we're gonna do. It's a theft case involving a trailer. That was, the owner got it back. As far as whether our client stole it or not, that kind of
All right, so
is
you need a,
doubtful. It's just the only reason I bring that issue, Judge, is he does have an immigration hold, and the theft charge itself would cause quite a bit of problems with that.
okay, so maybe a reset for next Thursday? Next Tuesday?
Thursday would be fine. Tuesday, I just need to speak with Mr. Heller, figure out what we're gonna do, and then meet with the client. It's just, he's in Starr County, and scheduling the calls has been getting a little difficult.
Yeah, no problem. What do you prefer? Do you prefer next Tuesday or do you prefer next Thursday?
If we could do next Tuesday, Judge, that way I can schedule a call with Starr.
All right, next Tuesday is the 22nd, so we'll go to February 22nd, 2022 at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem.
And I'll go ahead and file the plea paperwork on the DWI, just, we can get some movement on that.
All right, perfect.
And I believe that's all I got, Your Honor. May I
All right.
excuse?
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Ms. Martinez, what do you have?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have a plea. She signed up, ready to go. It's number 31 on your docket, I believe. And she is on the screen.
Number 31, Charlotte Peña.
Yes.
I do see her there. Give me 1 second. If there's no other announcements from anyone here, announcements other than pleas, I will start taking pleas. So if you have a plea, please announce yourself and let me know your name of your client so that I can begin to start jotting my docket down.
Judge, good afternoon, Judge. Saurabh Mangi. I've got a plea on number 23 and 24, Jose Aaron Lopez Jimenez. He's present on Zoom, Your Honor.
23, 24, it looks like this one's going to be a plea on number 24 and a dismissal on number 23. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
But then I have number 13 on your docket,
All right.
ready for a plea.
13, Mr. Garza, is Rafael Ramirez.
Yes, sir.
All right. And he's in custody, so if I can have Rafael Ramirez brought up. Is he there? Hang tight right there, Mr. Ramirez. Don't sit down. I'm going to be right with you, okay?
Good afternoon, Judge Ismael Rivera here for Mr. Alvarado. Case number CR 218852. I don't see it on the docket. I can't really look at it. I'm on my phone at the moment.
All right, number 21.
Okay.
Is Mr. Alvarado present?
Yes, he is, Judge. He's under the same name as myself. He's in my office.
I'm trying to find, oh yes, I see him there. Can I just make sure that he can hear me and I can hear him? Mr.
Sure.
Alvarado,
He does. Interpreter, Judge.
Carlos, will you ask him if he can hear us and if he can just speak up to see and make sure the microphones work?
Señor Alvarado, ¿sí nos escucha?
Perdón.
¿Sí nos escucha?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be right with you, sir. Thank you. All right, Mr. Ramos, who do you have?
Your Honor, I have number, sorry, Judge. I have number 30 on your docket.
30. Amanda Nino?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is Miss Nino present?
I believe she is, Judge. I thought I saw her.
Amanda, can
I am
you?
here.
All right, perfect. In just a second, I'm going to need you to turn on your camera.
All right.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sepulveda, you also have a plea?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I have numbers 8 through 12 on your docket.
All right, and it looks like all of those will be pleas. There'll be time served, but they're all pleas, so.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, who do you have?
I have number 34, Lina, and I think it's Ramirez's last name.
34.
Yes, that's right.
All right, Lina Ramirez, perfect.
Yes,
Mr. Linhar, who do you have? Mr. Linharf, who do you have?
Your Honor, good afternoon. Apologies, we did not receive the docket, but our client's name is Juan Francisco Santibanez.
All right, I think that's just a plea on number 17. The other ones are going to be dismissed or dismissed and extended, the motions to revoke. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, perfect. Mr. Ricardo Flores, who do you have?
Yes, Your Honor, cause numbers on your docket 27 and 28, with a plea on 27. I thought I saw my client on a while ago. I'm not sure if he's still there. He was having trouble with reception out where he was working.
Luis Medrano. Is Luis Medrano present? Luis Medrano?
Apparently not.
I have somebody who's connecting. That may be him, Luis Medrano. Logging on under Gustavo Garza. Is Luis Medrano present? I have a Medrano 956. Mr. Medrano, can you hear me? Medrano number 956, can you hear me? No. Mr. Medrano, can you hear me? Luis Medrano, can you hear me? I think we're having some difficulty. He doesn't show the microphone, as most people will show a microphone sometimes.
He was having problems out there where he worked, Your Honor.
Would you like for me to maybe reset your case? I mean,
that may ultimately be what has to be done, Your Honor. He went to work and he worked somewhere where there's poor reception.
Yeah, no, let's, the other thing we could do is we can have him call in the office and we can get his audio from our office. But if the reception is poor, that's not going to make a difference. So maybe we can reset it for next week, and that's an option that we can.
That's fine, Your Honor. I
work with.
don't have a problem with that.
All right, let's go ahead and reset this case for next Tuesday. Reset Tuesday is the 22nd.
22nd.
At 2.
2/22/22
at 2.
Wow. Okay.
Bunch of 2s.
Bunch of them, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'll get a hold of my client. That's
Okay,
all I had today. Have excuse, sir.
Your excuse. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to remove your client.
Thank you.
Did he already, he got removed himself? I think he removed himself. He must have dropped. Okay, Mr. Lopez, Ted, what do you have?
Good afternoon, Judge. He was actually set this morning, Your Honor. It's number 15, but he was signed up for a plea a couple weeks ago. Paperwork was submitted, Judge.
All right.
I
do have him here.
Gustavo Garza, he is signed in, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. I do see him there. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody. Let me see. Mr. Medrano, can you hear me? Mr. Medrano, can you hear me? Mr. Medrano, can you hear me? Medrano 956. Luis Gabriel Medrano, can you hear me? Luis Gabriel Medrano. Okay, I think that's everybody. Am I missing anyone? Did I not call someone? Someone's name I didn't call? Yuri, am I missing anybody? It doesn't look like I'm missing anybody, but if you can notice that I'm missing somebody, maybe we can have someone else stand in for him.
I don't think so, Judge. I think we got everybody.
Okay, we're going to start off with Adam Ray Ortiz. Mr. Ortiz, you're going to be the first one to answer all my questions. Listen carefully. Then I'm going to move over to Rafael Ezequiel Ramirez. Rafael Ezequiel Ramirez. Perfect. Followed by Juan Francisco Santibanez. Juan Francisco Santibanez. Santibanez will be the third one. Perfect. Then I have Alfredo Alvarado. Alfredo Alvarado, who's under Ismael Rivera. Then I have Jose Aaron Jimenez Lopez.
Judge, he's gonna need an interpreter.
Okay, no problem. Let's check his microphone. Carlos, make sure his microphone is working. Can you ask him to speak up and see if his microphone's working?
José Jiménez López, ¿puede encender su micrófono y hablar al micrófono?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I can hear you. Be ready to answer my question, sir.
Ok, si lo escucho y prepárese para contestar mis preguntas.
Ok.
Ok.
Then I have Amanda Nino. Amanda Nino. Where is Miss Nino?
Yes, sir, I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, Miss Nino, I am going to need you to turn on your camera so that I can place you under oath. Does your camera work?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right, and then Charlotte Marie Peña.
I can
There's
hear
Miss
you.
Peña. Perfect, thank you. And then I have Lina Renee Ramirez. And I see Ms. Ramirez on there. And finally, Gustavo Garza. That is the order in which I will be calling today's pleas. If I can have everybody whose name I just called, please be ready to mute and unmute yourself. So like, for example, Mr. Garza, I see there that you're on mute, Ms. Ramirez, Ms. Peña. All of y'all just be ready to know where the mute and unmute button is so that you can answer all my questions and I can hear you loud and clear. If I can have all of you, please raise your right hand. To each of you, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I'm going to start with Adam Ray Ortiz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Rafael Ezequiel Ramirez.
Yes, sir.
Juan Francisco Santibáñez.
Sir.
Alfredo Alvarado.
Creo que testimonio que va a esta tarde va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad, señor. Alvarado? Yes.
Jose Aaron Jimenez Lopez.
José Aaron Jiménez López. ¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Amanda Nino.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Charlotte Marie Peña.
Yes, Your Honor.
Lina Renee Ramirez.
Yes, Your Honor.
And finally, Gustavo Garza.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All of y'all may lower your hands. We'll start off. Thank you. We'll start off with CR 21-07-373H, as well as CR 21-07-179H, CR 21-07-178H, CR 21-07-177H, CR 21-07-176H, State of Texas versus Adam Ray Ortiz. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ortiz, you're here before the court charged with the offense of resisting arrest, search or transport, a Class A misdemeanor, evading arrest, Class A misdemeanor, unlawfully carrying a weapon, Class A misdemeanor, failure to ID, Class A misdemeanor, assault causing bodily injury, Class A misdemeanor, and evading arrest, Class A misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment. Sorry, not the evading arrest. I apologize. That's Mr. Garza's client. I apologize. It stops with the assault. But all of them are Class A misdemeanors, and in just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor. In CR 21-13-57H, Rafael Ramirez. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramirez, you're here before the court charged with the offense of evading arrest. That is a Class A misdemeanor, and in just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor. In CR 21-14-233H, State of Texas versus Juan Francisco Santibáñez. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Sir.
Mr. Santibáñez, you're here before the court charged with the offense of theft of property greater than $100, less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor. And in just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor. In CR 21-08-852H, State of Texas versus Alfredo Alvarado. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Alfredo Alvarado. ¿Ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Alfredo Alvarado.
¿Es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
¿Mande?
Alfredo Alvarado, ¿ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarado, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Let me advise you that a Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class B misdemeanor?
Alfredo Alvarado, usted se encuentra ante la corte porque es acusado de una ofensa de manejando intoxicado, que es un delito menor clase B. Tengo que avisarle que con esta ofensa lo máximo de castigo que usted puede recibir es hasta 6 meses de cárcel en el condado, una multa de $2,000 o las dos cosas ya ha sido encontrado culpable. ¿Sí entiende lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir por esta ofensa?
Soy,
¿Sí entiende?
sí.
Yes.
Thank you. In CR 21-11-188H, State of Texas versus Jose Aaron Jimenez Lopez. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
José Aaron Jiménez López, ¿es su nombre correcto y verdadero? ¿Sí me escucha, Jiménez?
Sí.
Yes.
Is that your true and correct name, sir?
¿Su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez Lopez, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense. That is a Class A misdemeanor. I need to advise you that a Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class A misdemeanor?
Señor López, usted se encuentra ante la corte porque es acusado de una ofensa de manejar intoxicado, una segunda ofensa. Se considera un delito menor clase A. Tengo que avisarle con esta ofensa lo máximo de castigo que usted puede recibir es hasta 1 año de cárcel del condado, una multa de $4,000 o las dos cosas ya ha sido encontrado culpable. ¿Sí entiende lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
In CR 21-08-111H, State of Texas versus Amanda Nino. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name? Ms. Nino? Did we lose her? Amanda Nino? Mr. Ramos, if you could try to make contact and communication with Ms. Nino, I think we may have lost her. In CR 21-03-099H, State of Texas versus Charlotte Marie Peña. Ms. Peña, is that your true and correct name?
Yes.
Ms. Peña, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense. That is a Class A misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor. In CR 21-094-76H, State of Texas versus Lina Renee Ramirez. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. And in just a few minutes, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor. And CR 21-05-670H, State of Texas versus Gustavo Garza. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garza, you're here before the court charged with the offense of possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces. That is a Class B misdemeanor. I need to advise all of you that Class A misdemeanors carry a potential penalty of up to 1 year in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon convictions. Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do all of you understand the range of punishment you can receive for your Class A or Class B misdemeanor? I'll start with Mr. Ortiz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Santibáñez.
Sir.
Miss Amanda Nino. Oh, she's still not on. Sorry. Miss Charlotte Peña.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Ramirez.
Yes, Your Honor.
And finally, Mr. Gustavo Garza.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, Dennis, do you happen to have a plea or is yours an announcement?
Your Honor, it's a plea. It's on Jocelyn Morales.
Okay, let me just make sure. Jocelyn Morales, you said? 29. Jocelyn Morales. Do we have the paperwork and ready to go on that one?
I did get it to Yuri, the state this before lunch, Judge. I'm not sure if he was able to e-file it. I know it was short notice.
How about is Jocelyn Morales present?
Yes.
Okay, under iPhone. All right, let me go ahead and take care of this one.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. In CR 21-07-795H, State of Texas, Jocelyn Morales. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes.
All right. Before I do that, let me have you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Your true correct name is Jocelyn Morales?
Yes.
Ms. Morales, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Let me advise you that a Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class B misdemeanor?
Yes.
All of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury, but you can waive one or both of those rights by signing a document. Did each of you have an opportunity to review a document with your attorney before you signed it? I'll start with Mr. Adam Ortiz.
Yes, sir.
How about Mr. Rafael Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
Juan Francisco Santibáñez,
Sir.
Alfredo Alvarado, and
Sí, señor.
Jiménez López.
Alvarado,
Sí, señor.
usted tiene el derecho a tener un abogado presente con usted y el derecho de presentar su caso ante un jurado. Puede renunciar uno o los dos derechos firmando ciertos documentos. ¿Tuvo la oportunidad de revisar esos documentos con su abogado antes de que los firmaras?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. López?
¿Y usted, señor López?
Sí.
Yes.
Miss Jocelyn Morales,
Yes.
Miss Amanda Nino, has she logged back on? No, right?
Your Honor, I've tried reaching her, but I can't get a hold of her just out of an abundance of caution. Could we perhaps reset today's plea?
Yes, sir. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me reset it for Tuesday, okay?
I appreciate it, Judge. I'll make sure to make arrangements with her so that way we get it done.
All right, Tuesday's the 22nd at 2 o'clock.
Will do, Judge.
Ms. Morales, can you turn your camera, please?
All right, how about you, Miss Peña?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Miss Ramirez? Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Garza?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do each of you understand that when you signed those documents with your attorney, did you understand that you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Mr. Ortiz, did you understand you were waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Santibáñez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarado?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. López?
López entendió que cuando firmó sus documentos estaba renunciando a su derecho de presentar tu caso ante un jurado.
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Morales?
Yes.
Ms. Peña?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
And Mr. Garza?
Yes, sir.
Court's going to go ahead and accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Mr. Adam Ortiz?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rafael Ramirez?
No, sir.
Juan Francisco Santibáñez?
Sir.
Alfredo Alvarado?
Pero Alvarado, ¿alguna corte alguna vez lo ha declarado mentalmente incompetente o que diga que está loco?
Perdón, no escuché la pregunta.
¿Alguna corte alguna vez lo ha declarado mentalmente incompetente o que diga que está loco?
No, señor.
No, sir.
José Aaron Jiménez López?
¿Y usted, José Aaron Jiménez López?
No.
No.
Jocelyn Morales?
No.
Charlotte Marie Peña?
No, Your Honor.
Lina Renee Ramirez?
No.
Gustavo Garza?
No, sir.
Counsel, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent, able to assist? I'll start with Ms. Veronica Martinez.
I find my client competent to proceed, Your Honor.
Mr. Carlos Jaime Garza?
He's competent, Your Honor.
Mr. Linhar?
Mr. Santibáñez is competent.
Mr. Rivera, Ismael Rivera?
No.
Ismael Rivera, is he still present?
Yes.
He's competent, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Manji?
Mr. Jimenez is competent, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, that's the Ms. Morales.
Ms. Morales Martinez?
Ms. Peña is competent, has been able to assist, Your Honor.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Same announcement as to Ms. Ramirez, Judge.
And Mr. Lopez?
Mr. Garza is competent, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all the defendants before the court, they're all mentally competent, they're all able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do you each understand that if the punishment that I assess, if that punishment does not exceed what is recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. Adam Ortiz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rafael Ezequiel Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Juan Santibáñez? Mr. Alfredo Alvarado?
Alfredo Alvarado.
Sí, señor.
¿Entiende si el castigo que le doy, si no sobrepasa de lo que está recomendando el fiscal? Si usted decide apelar este caso, necesita permiso de esta corte. ¿Sí entiendes?
¿Me repites que soy un poco sordo?
¿Entiende si el castigo que le doy, si no sobrepasa lo que recomienda el fiscal? Si usted decide apelar este caso, necesita permiso de esta corte primero. ¿Sí entiendes?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. José López?
¿Y usted, señor José López, sí entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
How about Jocelyn Morales? Ms. Jocelyn Morales, you're on mute.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Charlotte Peña?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lina Ramirez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gustavo Garza?
Yes, sir.
Do each of you understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Do you understand that the court does not have to accept that recommendation, Mr. Ortiz?
Your Honor.
How about you, Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Santibáñez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarado?
Alvarado,
señor.
¿entiende que la corte no tiene que aceptar esta recomendación del fiscal? ¿Sí entiendes?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. López?
¿Y usted, señor López, entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Morales, Jocelyn Morales?
Yes.
Ms. Charlotte Peña?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lina Ramirez?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gustavo Garza?
Yes, sir.
At this time, I need to ask all of you, are you U.S. citizens? I'll start with Mr. Adam Ortiz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Rafael Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
Juan Santibáñez?
Yes, sir.
Alfredo Alvarado?
Alfredo Alvarado, ¿es ciudadano americano?
No.
No.
How about you, Mr. Jose Aaron Jimenez Lopez?
¿Y usted, José Aaron Jiménez López, es ciudadano americano?
No.
No.
Because Mr. Alvarado and Mr. Lopez, you both are not U.S. citizens, your plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under U.S. federal law. Do you understand those immigration consequences, Mr. Alvarado?
Señor Alvarado, ¿entiende que por la razón que no es ciudadano americano, al declararse culpable o no lo contendré, pudiera resultar una deportación, negar la entrada a este país o la pudiera afectar la aplicación para ciudadanía? ¿Sí entiende las consecuencias que pudiera pasar con la inmigración?
Sí.
Yes.
How about you, Mr. Lopez?
¿Y usted, señor López, sí entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Knowing and understanding those immigration consequences, Mr. Alvarado and Mr. Lopez, do you both still wish to go forward with your pleas here today?
Sabiendo las consecuencias que pudiera pasar con la inmigración, señor Alvarado, ¿sigue siendo su deseo proceder con su caso aquí hoy?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Lopez?
¿Y usted, señor López?
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Morales, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Ms. Charlotte Marie Peña, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Lina Renee Ramirez, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Gustavo Garza, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Adam Ray Ortiz, to the offense of resisting arrest or a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
To the offense of evading arrest, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
The offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Guilty.
To the offense of failure to identify, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Guilty.
To the offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty to all these cases freely and voluntarily, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rafael Ezequiel Ramirez, to the offense of evading arrest, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Juan Francisco Santibáñez, to the offense of theft of property, a Class B misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty. Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Yes. Mr. Alvarado, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a class B misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Señor Alvarado, a la ofensa de manejar intoxicado, que es un delito menor clase B, ¿usted cómo se declara esta ofensa?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
Está declarando culpable voluntariamente, señor. ¿Sí o no?
¿Perdón?
¿Se está declarando culpable voluntariamente?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Jose Aaron Jimenez Lopez, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, how do you plead?
José Aaron Jiménez López, a la ofensa de manejar intoxicado, que es una segunda ofensa, un delito menor clase A. ¿Usted cómo se declara esta ofensa?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
¿Se está declarando culpable voluntariamente, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Jocelyn Morales, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a class B misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you. In CR 21-099H, State of Texas versus Charlotte Marie Peña, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, a class A misdemeanor. Ms. Peña, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
In CR 21-09476H, Lina Renee Ramirez, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a class B misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gustavo Garza, to the offense of possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces, a class B misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all the defendants before the court, they've all entered their pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily. And let me just check to see, I know I had. Okay, there's nobody pleading on a motion to revoke, correct, Mr. Heller? They're just being dismissed and extended, correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right, I'll call for state's evidence at this time.
It offers plea documents and offense reports is states 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal is states 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures is states 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment is states 4, PTD POM packet is states 5 for Mr. Gustavo. State would also request defense counsel stipulate the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and further stipulate that all evidence that has been e-filed sufficient to corroborate the plea of guilty.
All right, we'll start with Ms. Martinez. Veronica Sepulveda Martinez.
No objection to the exhibit, so agreed and stipulated.
Mr. Carlos Jaime Garza.
Same announcement, Your Honor.
Mr. Linhar.
No objections, Your Honor, and the defense so stipulates.
Mr. Ismael Rivera. Mr. Rivera. Did I lose him? Mr. I think he is frozen.
Got swallowed up.
Mr. Rivera, any objections to state's exhibits? You're on mute, sir.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Manji.
No objection and so stipulated, Your Honor.
Thank you. Dennis Ramirez.
No objection, Judge.
Nereida Morales Martinez.
No objection to the exhibits, Your Honor, so agreed and stipulated.
Savannah Gonzalez.
No objections, Judge. So agreed and stipulated for Lina Ramirez.
And finally, Ted Lopez.
No objections to the exhibits offered. We stipulate you've been in jurisdiction, Your Honor.
There being no objection, state's exhibits are hereby admitted in CR 21-07-373H, CR 21-07-179H, CR 21-07-178H, CR 21-07-177H, CR 21-07-176H. All of these cases, State of Texas versus Adam Ray Ortiz. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation on all of these cases?
Your Honor, the recommendation is time served in all of the cases, 236 days, credit for 236.
On all these cases, it's going to be a zero fine, zero court cost, 236 days, credit for 236 days, time served. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Ortiz. That takes care of your cases. And Ms. Sepulveda Martinez, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In CR 21-13-457H, State of Texas versus Rafael Ramirez, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation in this case?
The recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs, and 74 days credit for 74.
All right, this is going to be a zero fine, zero court cost, 74 days, credit for 74 days, time served. Mr. Ramirez, good luck to you. Mr. Garza, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In CR 21-14-233H, Juan Francisco Santibáñez, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
Judge, on CR 21-05-881, we're going to be dismissing and extending for a year.
All right, court will approve that. All right, what about CR 21-14-233H?
On CR 21-05-809H, it's also going to be dismiss and extend. And then CR 21-13363H will be dismissed with a plea to CR 21-14-233H.
And the recommendation on that case?
$400 fine, court costs, 180 days at Elko County Jail, probated for 1 year, 5 classes, 25 community service hours, and 0 restitution.
Questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Lindholm, for that last case?
Your Honor, we just request that this honorable court consider waiving the court costs.
All right, he spent how many days in jail?
Judge, looks like he spent 57 days in jail.
All right, the court will go ahead and waive the court costs. All right, court costs are waived. Community service hours is also waived. Rest of the recommendation I will follow. Mr. Santibáñez, we do need a phone number from you. And you're on mute, sir.
956-825-8537.
Thank you. Our probation and intake department will be calling in about 5 business days.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your just ruling. Take care.
Thank you. All right, in CR 21-08852H, State of Texas versus Alfredo Alvarado, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
It'll be a $250 fine, court costs, 10 months deferred adjudication, alcohol classes, 5 months mobile alcohol monitoring, 90 days suspension of license, and 0 restitution.
All right, Mr. Rivera, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, not at this time. Thank you.
Court's going to go ahead and allow your client 90 days to pay the fine and court costs, and I'm going to run the Texas driver's license suspension concurrent with the administrative suspension. Mr. Alvarado, I do need a phone number, but Carlos, will you please let him know the recommendation as the court modified it?
Sure. Señor Alvarado, la corte lo va a encontrar culpable de esta ofensa. Va a ser una multa de $250 más los costos de corte. Va a ser 10 meses de libertad condicional deferidos. Tiene que tener clases de alcohol. Necesita tener un aparato móvil por un periodo de 5 meses. Su suspensión de licencia de 90 días va a quedar junto con su suspensión que ya le dieron. Necesitamos un número de teléfono para usted.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir. Su número de teléfono.
970-0949.
¿Es la área 956?
No, sí.
956-970-0949.
Thank
Sí,
you.
señor.
Let them know that our intake department will call in 5 days.
Alguien de la oficina de libertad condicional se la va a comunicar con usted en esos próximos 5 días.
Ok.
Puede apagar su micrófono, sir. Ya se puede retirar.
All right, thank you. In CR 21-11-188H, Jose Aaron Jimenez Lopez, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
The recommendation is a $250 fine, court cost, 365 days to Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 18 months, repeat offender program, 5 days in Hidalgo County Jail, 180 days TDLS, suspension, 9 months of mobile monitoring and MAD impact panel, and open restitution in CR 21-11-293H.
All right, questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Manji?
Judge, that is our agreement. In regards to the 5 days in jail, he would like to serve those on weekends if possible. He does work Monday through Friday, so if we could do maybe like a Friday through Sunday, 2 weekends in a row or something like that.
Yeah, I have no problem. The only thing is I need to work on a judgment on a order of commitment. So I do need the dates right now, or at least an idea as to what dates. And I don't mind if they're out into the future, Mr. Manji, but can you come up with a date or does
I
he-
think he's good. I think he's good with this Friday through Sunday and next Friday through Sunday. Let me just pull up the calendar. So the 18th through the 20th and the 25th through 27th.
All right, we could definitely do those dates. We'll work on those dates in the order, in the judgment, okay?
Thank you.
All right, we do need a phone number from Mr. Lopez.
Need a restitution hearing as well, Judge.
Restitution hearing is going to be on March 8th at 9:30.
Great.
Sí, señor López, la corte lo va a encontrar culpable de su ofensa. Va a ser una multa de $250 más los costos de corte. Va a ser 18 meses de libertad condicional. Tiene que atender el programa de ofensas repetitorias. Tiene que servir 5 días de cárcel en el condado. Un aparato móvil por un periodo de 9 meses. Su suspensión de licencia de 6 meses, junto con su suspensión que ya le dio el Estado. Tiene que atender el programa de MAD. Vamos a tener una audiencia para determinar si es que hubo daños el 8 de marzo a las 9:30 de la mañana. Los fines de semana que se va a traer usted en el condado va a ser este fin de semana, el 18, que es el viernes, y lo sueltan el 20, y luego de nuevo el próximo fin de semana, el 25 hasta el 27. Va a ser 2 fines de semana.
Ok, sí.
Ok, yes. Necesitamos un número de teléfono por usted.
Ok. Es el 956-996-3148.
956-996-3148.
Thank you. Just let them know that probation will call in about 5 business days.
Ok, señor Jiménez, alguien de la oficina de libertad condicional se va a comunicar con usted en los próximos 5 días.
Ok, está bien.
Okay, that's fine. Gracias, se puede retirar, señor.
Thank you, Judge. You all have a good day.
Thank you, you too. In CR 21-07-795H, State of Texas versus Jocelyn Morales, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
Your Honor, the recommendation is a $200 fine, court cost, 1 year deferred adjudication, alcohol classes, 6 months mobile monitoring, 90-day driver license suspension, 20 community service hours, and open restitution.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, in checking with our probation officer, Ms. Rodriguez, earlier today, it came to my attention that there was no violations while she had the mobile device, and following the court's new policy, the court's going to go ahead and waive the fine and the court cost since there was no violations. Besides that, I will also ask, is she employed at this time or does she have minor children at home?
Your Honor, she's got 2 minor children and she is employed.
All right, I'll waive the CSR because of that. I'm going to run the 90-day Texas driver's license suspension concurrent. So that'll run the suspension. We'll run concurrent with the administrative suspension.
Thank you, Judge.
Restitution hearing will be on March the 8th at 9:30. Do you have any other questions?
Nothing further, Judge. May we be excused?
We do need a phone number from her, but otherwise,
956-274-1502.
Thank you. Our probation and intake department will call you in about 5 business days.
Okay.
all right, you're excused. Thank you. Let's move on to CR 21-03-099H, Charlotte Marie Peña. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation for Charlotte Marie Peña?
The recommendation is a $300 fine, court costs, 365 days, Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 16 months, repeat offender program, 5 days, Hidalgo County Jail, 180-day license suspension, 8 months of mobile alcohol monitoring, and MAD impact panel.
All right, this is also another case that in speaking with Ms. Rodriguez, there was no violations with the mobile device. So for that reason, the court's going to go ahead and waive the fine, waive the court cost. And I'm going to run the 180-day Texas driver's license suspension concurrent with the administrative suspension. The 5 days Hidalgo County Jail, we will need to kind of have an idea, Ms. Morales Martinez, as to what day she would like to serve those.
Judge, I honestly did not ask my client when she would do that, except that it's my understanding she is employed, so I would ask that she be able to do it on weekends.
I don't have a problem giving
Perhaps she can assist in this.
Yeah, if you look at a calendar, Ms. Peña, I don't have a problem giving you some time. I could give you like to make arrangements, accommodations. I just need to put something in the judgment, but I can do it 30 days out if that's something that you're amenable to.
Yes, Your Honor. It's because I work like at a restaurant, so that'll be the time like I would work the most.
On the weekends?
Yeah,
So what days do you prefer?
like during the week.
Okay, why don't you look at a calendar and maybe give me some days?
And also I was gonna ask if I could do it like half and half because I help my mom take care of my little brothers.
We can't do half a day, but you can do a.
No, like
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
okay, go ahead. What was your idea?
Maybe like 3 and then 2 like the next
Yeah.
week or something like that.
No problem, no problem. Just give me those dates so I can put it in the judgment.
You said a month from now is fine.
That's perfectly fine with me. Maybe you could do it during spring break when you might have some additional help.
Probably the week after that because I help watch them.
Okay, we could do like the 21st to the 25th. You just pick 2 or 3 days on that week, and then you can go the following week and pick 2 or 3 days. I just need to put it in the judgment.
Okay, that is fine. Maybe the 22nd through the 24th, and then the next week, the 29th and the 30th.
Perfect, that'll work. We'll put that in the judgment. 29th and 30th of March. Okay, if we can get your phone number, please.
956-246-9511.
That was 9511.
Yes.
Thank you. Our intake department will call you in about 5 business days.
Okay.
Judge, that is all we have. May we both be excused.
Both of y'all are excused. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
Let's move over to CR 21-09476H, State of Texas versus Lina Renee Ramirez. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation in this case?
Your Honor, the recommendation is a $250 fine, court costs, 1 year deferred adjudication, alcohol education program, 90-day suspension, 6 months mobile monitoring, and a MAD impact panel.
All right. Questions or requests on behalf of your client, Ms. Gonzalez?
No, Judge, just follow the recommendation. This is a DWI first. She's getting the deferred.
Let me go ahead and give her 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court costs. I'm going to run the 90-day Texas driver's license suspension. I'm going to run that concurrent with administrative suspension. And the rest of the recommendation I will follow. We do need a phone number.
956-732-8890.
Thank you. Our intake department will call you in about 5 business days.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. I believe that's all we have for Mr. Ramirez. May we both be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Take care.
Thank you.
In CR 21-056708, State of Texas versus Gustavo Garza. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. Mr. Garza, you're asking to be placed in the pretrial diversion, the PTD POM program. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
This is a contract whereby you are agreeing to comply with certain conditions of the pretrial diversion program. And in exchange, the state is agreeing to dismiss the charges against you. Do you understand that program?
Yes, sir.
You're going to be drug tested before you come back here on April the 12th, 2022 at 9:30. Is there any reason why you will not pass or complete all conditions, Mr. Garza?
No, sir.
All right, perfect. We do need a phone number from you before me placing you on the pretrial diversion program.
956-340-2721.
Thank you. Our intake department will call you in about 5 business days.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Right.
Your Honor, I have nothing further. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Representative Munoz, what do you have?
Judge, I had number 1 and 2 on the docket, Your Honor. David Baldasso, he should be in custody.
All right, and looks like they're calling him over. Your announcement for Mr. Baldasso.
Judge, so I had been appointed on 2 cases, Your Honor, the violation of protective order and the possession of marijuana, which he is currently in custody for. He was given bond and was subsequently released. However, I think recently he was, they filed a motion to revoke, which could be one of the reasons why he was incarcerated again for a a case from last year. And I think I just got appointed on that case today from Indigent Defense, Your Honor.
Okay, so you just need more time on these cases?
Yeah, so I thought I was just gonna take care of both of those. It was the two misdemeanors he had today, but I guess now they filed a motion to revoke on CR 21065728, which was an assault case that he was on probation for.
Judge, there's a second MTR as well, CR 21065738. And that's on criminal mischief.
All right, well, let me give Mr. Munoz some time to work on those. Rep, I can give you, what do you think, next Thursday?
Next Thursday is fine, Judge, so I can try to get resolved or get him out as quickly as possible.
All right, 224 at 2 o'clock.
224
at 2, yes, sir.
224 at 2. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I be excused, Judge.
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex, who do you have?
Well, Your Honor, I had a client who was logged in earlier, but he didn't have sound. He tried logging out and logging back in. He was a nice guy. I was just trying to get him back on the docket. I don't know if he's in the waiting room.
There's nobody in my waiting room right now, but there was a gentleman that was logged on as the Brownsville Prophet.
That's him, Judge. His name's John Forrester.
John Forrester. Is he on the docket or not on the docket?
He's not on the docket. He was a nice guy back January 13th.
Okay.
I was just trying to get him back on so we could resolve his case. I think the last setting, he was set to have an ASI screening, an SATF screening.
Okay. We can set him up and remove the nice eye. I did see him log on and he logged back off, and then
Yeah, he called my office. I tried telling him, log off, log in, because he didn't have any audio.
Yeah.
He couldn't hear anybody.
Okay. You want me to go ahead and just give you a date? I can give you a date down the road. What do you think? Maybe 30 days?
That's fine, Judge. Can I give you the cause number just so we're gonna keep it on the record?
Jackie already has it.
Oh, she has it? Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna recall the nice eye. We're gonna give him a date for March the 31st. 9:30. All right, who's Jose Perez and what case is he in?
32 and 33, Judge. He's Miss Richardson's client.
And Mr. Perez, have you had or heard back from your client, from your lawyer?
Yesterday I went to speak with her, but she wasn't in her office. But I had told her that they had sent me a letter that I had an open warrant for another court.
Okay. Did you talk to her about it, or you haven't talked to her about it?
No, I haven't spoken to her directly. I only spoke to her, to her secretary.
Okay. Let me give you some time so that you can try to talk with her. Let me go ahead and reset this case for March the 10th.
March the 10th?
Yes, sir, at 2 o'clock, okay?
Thank you, sir.
March 10th, 2022 at 2 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Sheriff, who else do we have there with you that we can maybe give you a reset date on or give you some information on?
I have Torres Abraham.
March the 3rd for Mr. Torres.
Okay. That's it for us, Judge.
All right, thank you so much. How many pleas do we have? 7?